What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Power of I Am. I am Eric. I am all that is. I am love. I am perfection. I am always chosen. I am everyone's top priority. No one is better than me. No one compares to me. Claim it. All right, first, if anyone wants to work with me, the link is in the description. If anyone wants to join the membership channel, we have weekly access to the live streams where you can ask me anything and I'll always have an answer, as well as exclusive videos that are not on the public side. Link is also in the description. All right, today I got a little different one for you today, guys. I want to talk about the power of observation. You are what you see, so to speak, and it's not always just seeing with our minds because we don't actually see it with our eyes, but it could be what we speak into existence, what we accept as true, thoughts we identify with, perceptions, assumptions, etc. Before I get to that, a few Bible verses that have to do with what I am speaking of today. All right. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the assurance of things of hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. The conviction of the things not seen. 2 Corinthians 4:18, as we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal. I've used that one a lot. Hebrews 11:3, by faith we understand that the universe was created by the word of God, so that what is seen was not made out of things that are visible. What is seen was not made out of things that are visible. Keep that in mind. Jeremiah 33:3, call to me and I will answer you, and I will tell you great and hidden things that you do not know and understand. I will tell you great hidden things that you do not know and understand. Call to me, aka go within, seek the truth, seek the kingdom, and these things will be added onto you. Luke 12:2, there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that would not be made known. This is all talking about whatever is within you will always be made manifest to the external. That will be done on earth as it is in heaven. As within, so without. Hebrews 4:13, no creation is hidden from him, but all things are exposed and uncovered before the eyes of him to whom we must give an account. Nothing is ever truly unseen if you can see it within yourself. All right. Proverbs 22:3, the prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. You see danger, you take a refuge internally. The ones who don't pay the price of just recreating the thing, accepting the outside as the truth. Matthew 28:20, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am always with you, to the very end of the age. Speaks for itself. Proverbs 15:3, the eyes of the Lord are everywhere, keeping watch on the wicked and the good. Everything is you. Everything is how you decide it is, the meanings you give, whether you see it internally or externally. Heaven is both inside and outside of you, like Gospel of Thomas says. But if you consume the external, you bring the dead back to life. Okay, you bring the same story. You keep observing the same story. You keep bringing it back to life. Keep that in mind. Isaiah 41:10, so do not fear. I already said that one. Yeah, all right. Well, because that's it. That's why I already said that one. All right, different one today, guys. Little chill vibes. So I want to talk about and give you guys a little perspective on observation, right? What we see, what we always keep our attention on, what we always keep observing, right? Even we don't even realize we're doing, we just keep observing. And the same thing, whether it's internally, and I'll give you an example, or externally, it becomes you. You're basically that very thing that you keep observing. It becomes a part of you. It becomes part of your identity. And whatever is part of your identity will continue to materialize as long as you stay the same. So I want to give an example of kind of my point I'm trying to get across today. But first, I want to remind you all that your eyes don't actually see anything. They bring in light from the electromagnetic field, quantum field, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know and I don't care. But they bring in light, and it's about what, 0.3 something percent of that light. And our minds is what shows this image of the filter of our truths, is how I see it. So what we're seeing is coming from the mind, not our actual eyes, right? The senses are processed by the brain and show us the image of everything we've already accepted about ourselves. So we're actually not seeing. So that's why our mind, in my old video, The Perspective of the Blind Man, takes our word for it. Our word is the cause. How we see things is the cause. The definitions, the way we perceive it, what we assume to be true without seeing it or unseen. Because the way we can manifest, and remember, manifestation is just being aware of something and accepting it as a fact without proof or evidence, right? So that's why we can say something is there that this current image isn't showing us in order to make it seen, because 99% of everything is already here. We just are not aware of it yet. And once we become aware of it and we are aware of it as a fact or true, that's how you make the unseen seen. And it all goes to how attached you are to the outcome, how much you give a shit, really. Because again, I had this example where I didn't know these two cars existed. It was a Lykan supercar and a Rezvani luxury military vehicle. It wasn't until a client told me of their existence, where I had to Google them and see, wow, never heard of them. The very next day I saw them on the way to the gym. The very next day. See, they were always here. Always. But because I didn't have an awareness of them, I couldn't see them. But then when I became aware of them, then I made the unseen seen. And because I didn't give a shit, because I didn't care, I was good with or without seeing it outside of me, because everything comes from me. That's why it was shown to me the next day. Because everything starts to move once you have it in awareness, or once you say something once, or once you make a decision, or you see it internally. Everything starts to move to prove it to you. Absolutely everything. Whether it looks like it or not. Whoever had to get in that car got in that car, hit those exact red lights, hit the green light, took that left turn, decided to go that way. Both of those cars, actually, just to make sure they had to meet where I was so I could see them. That's how perfect everything is, good or bad. Now, the reason why I brought this to our attention is because basically what we want to do is, wherever those cars were for me in the unseen, because I wasn't aware of their existence, they couldn't be in my experience. We want to take these shitty stories, these shitty things that we no longer wish to experience, and like put them in the same place, right? We want to make them unseen. So what we do, we take our power of awareness that gives life to the dead, like Romans 4:17, right? And focus on and call into things that are unseen as if they already are. Romans 4:17. Kind of like my rule, whenever anything comes to mind, immediately describe it as if it's already the way you would like it to be. Not the way you don't want it to be, and not the way the 3D is showing you if you do not agree with it. So we unplug our source energy from that and our attention, our observation on our desired reality, on who we truly are, as if it's already that way right now, in order to make it seen and stay the same. Ideally, Be just as detached as you are for seeing the cars or the butterfly or the free cup of coffee. And you do that by accepting how reality works. Again, I just made that video about how to strip the devil all of its power if you want to learn how to do that. But I talk about it in almost every video. That will always put you in a state of not needing, which means you're always in a state of having. And if you're always in a state of having, that's materialization. Okay. Eric, are you ever going to get to the whole point of the video? Observing. I'm getting there. Here we go. So, I brought up everything I speak of. I do it for a reason. So now let's get to it. Observing. So, our eyes don't see, our mind does. So, our minds literally cannot tell the difference if we're doing something in the internal or we're doing something in the external. It can't tell. Like Gospel of Thomas says, heaven is both inside and outside of you, but the mental plane is cause. The external is the effect. It's the physical materialization of it. So, for example, if I took a sip of this whiskey right here in this video and I put it down, right? If I did this, exquisite. If I did that right now, okay, and then as I sit here with you guys, I can do this with my eyes open now. That's how how long I've been doing it. But let's say I close my eyes and I saw this same scene, and I had the whiskey in my hand and I drank it and I put it down in my mind. My mind does not know the difference. It just sees it as happening now. All planes of existence are happening now. The version of me that drank it in here, and this physical manifestation of myself having a sip right in front of you guys. Right? In one of my old videos, I believe it's Avalanches, but I think I mentioned it, Avalanches of Success video. I had a guy that would drink a certain concoction that replaced his morning coffee in his mind, and it gave him energy. Like he was actually drinking it in the physical plane. Yes, that is true. You gotta look at almost reality as like a placebo, right? His physical body felt the effects of what the mental was doing. So, why am I bringing this to your attention? I'm going to give you guys an example that you all have experienced. Maybe some of you experienced. I would assume most of you. But there's something called clutter, right? Anyone ever experienced clutter? Maybe a messy room, maybe a nightstand that's has a bunch of shit on it. It's unorganized. Maybe you're someone that has a collection of water bottles in your room, or at some point you've experienced this, right? Not being so tidy. So, and to whoever says, "Well, I'm a tidy person. I'm usually always clean. I don't relate to this." Well, you do relate to it because what I'm about to say, whoosh, the opposite. Pay attention. So let's say you have a messy room or a space with clutter, and you observe that clutter every fucking day. And you know you should clean that shit, but you just keep observing it. You just keep seeing that fucking mess. You see shit everywhere. You see papers all crumpled up, water bottles, whatever. Who the fuck knows? Keys, dog poop bags. I don't fucking know, right? You just see it there. You know you should clean it, but you don't. Right? So you're literally observing it all day. You're looking at it and you're going about your day. Right? So now, one day comes and you say, you know what? I gotta clean it. I gotta clean this fucking mess. I gotta organize it. Even though it got to probably to the point where you were so aware of this clutter that you actually knew everything was in the mix. Right? But anyway, so you clean it, right? You organize it, and it's like, wow, it's gone, and you feel fucking great. You're like, wow, it's almost like energy was released. You're like, wow, man, that's great, man. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this up, bro. I'm gonna keep this up. Yeah, you're looking at giving yourself a pat on the back. You know, might fucking order a pizza for doing so well. But now here's something I know. I know anyone who has observed clutter like this for days on end and didn't do anything about it, and then they clean it, has experienced this. At some point after this big breakthrough of you actually cleaning and organizing your room or that space, you come to the realization that shit, 3 or 4 days went by, maybe a week, but usually around 3 or 4 or 5 days. Next, you look at that same area, and next thing you know, the clutter fucking returned, and you have no idea how it happened. You're like, fuck, my room's a mess again. Isn't that something? Now, for the person who's like, I'm always clean, I'm always clean. I bet if you left a little mess, next thing you know, your place was clean. You didn't even fucking realize it. The clutter returned, and you didn't even know how. But want me to tell you how? Old awareness. That's how. Why? Because the fact that you were observing every day with your eyes, not really your eyes, the mind, you kept observing something in your mind over and over and over again every day to where it became normal for you. That clutter became a part of your identity. You are now that clutter. It is normal. So reality sees that as normal. Reality will always rearrange itself to give you the gift of you. So when you decided to clean it, to tidy it up a bit, you naturally took action aligned with who you are, because you can only see who you are, right? And as long as you're embodying that version of you, and a lot of this is unconscious and you don't even know it, everything you do will be the right move to bring you the same you. So the second it's different, the mind, your identity, your old awareness is like, this isn't us. And again, you can extrapolate this to anything else. We're talking about manifestation here. Your mind is like, well, this isn't us. So then it'll naturally act through you. You'll think things, but you don't realize you're doing it because it became normal to you. Let's say it was water bottles or something, or part of clutter. You brought it into that room and you were drinking it, and you knew you needed to just go throw it away. Maybe it was just 2 steps that way, or you had to go to the other room and do it. But you said to yourself, you had that voice. You're like, nah, we don't got to do that. But take the shower. Take a shower first. We'll throw it away after, right? That's that old awareness. Like, yeah, we'll just. And you're gonna act natural and autopilot. And so you'll set it down in that spot. Take a shower. You come out. We're tired. We'll throw it out tomorrow. So then tomorrow you forget it's even there. But the thing is, you don't forget is because seeing something on that space is normal. So you're like, yeah, okay. You don't even realize that you forgot it there because that's something you would normally do. So then rinse and repeat, you naturally would take action. Next thing you know, boom, the clutter is back and you didn't even fucking realize it. Right? Where am I getting at? If you really think about the things that a lot of you come to me with, a lot of things that you're trying to manifest, bro. Again, I keep trying to tell you guys, reality manifests you. It manifests your identity, all of you, not what you want. So if you want something, you got to be of that version of you that has it. Like you're the version of you that has clutter. Wow, reality will rearrange itself to make sure, because it's always aware. What you keep observing all the time literally is you, becomes a part of you, consumes you, has you. Right? Now really think about this. If someone keeps observing the fact that they don't have money, and again, it's not just a visual thing, it can be with words, it can be with how you're, with definitions you're giving, which is also tied to your 4 pillars of identity: self-concept, concept of self, I am and I have, or if you took things away from yourself, I don't have, and then how you perceive the world. But someone who wants to bring money into their world, how can they expect money to come in and remain if all they do is observe the fact that they don't have it? All they do is observe the physical plane bank balance of not enough, or whatever it is, negative, maybe just $40, just 100, whatever. Everyone's different, right? Or they keep constantly referencing it, keep checking, like, checking I gotta keep budgeting. I gotta check if I have enough. So you're always observing a balance. You're always observing something that to you, the meaning you gave it is not enough. You're accepting that as true by just constantly observing it. When you need to observe the unseen, the same way I sip this in my mind does not know the difference. The same way I became aware of the unseen cars. So then I saw them. So my mind's like, oh, that's here in our experience. Oh, there it is. Now, for those small little things, if I keep observing them internally, if I keep putting my focus on them, I'll see them more. But again, how can someone expect for money to come flooding in if all they do is put their focus, attention, the eye of the observer, their God state mind, on the external problem? If you keep observing the problem and then you choose, I'm going to do what Eric told me, I'm going to decide this right now. So then you're choosing differently. But then you got to be mindful of when the old you comes to play. And again, if you don't know yourself, how can you expect you to overcome who you used to be? Because if you don't know yourself, you'll be running on autopilot. You will know how the old you comes. You won't know and understand. You won't even realize you're doing it. So the same way, like you could all of a sudden maybe claim I have money, maybe get a little extra that day. But just like the clutter, that's not you. You chose new right now, yes. But that old awareness of yours that's been observing for maybe 30 years, I don't haves, and complaining and constantly being aware that nothing works out for me and this is hard or whatever, it's going to make sure it rearranges itself to show you more of that, like the clutter. And you won't even realize why it's happening. So you got to keep your focus on not what is seen, like scripture says, but what is unseen. You got to keep observing the bank balance in here internally. If you have to interact with the old, quickly go in and remind yourself and see the numbers you want to see. Or speak it like it's already that way right now. Good thing it's already this way now. Good thing I already have enough. Good thing I always have more than enough. Good thing I have so much everything's paid in full. We're choosing to observe our desired reality as if it's already here. More than the fucking problem. Because we can make always having more than enough money just as normal as clutter in our room. Yes, it's all the same shit. Reality is going to give you you. Right? So, how can we expect, by SP, how can we expect a person to be in our life if we keep observing all the reasons why they're not, all the conditions why they're not, all the things attached to the old versions that aren't choosing us, like, I would need an apology. I need them to get on their knees, bro, and beg me. That's you observing old versions of them. Keep constantly checking and observing the 3D of their absence. I don't have the text. Nothing has changed. You're observing that the same way you naturally kept observing clutter. So you keep observing, you keep putting your attention, you're feeding it, you're feeding it, you're feeding it. Reality is going to show you the absence. So then when you say, ma espellame, ma espellame, ma espellame, old awareness is like, that's not you. So let's, you know what? Maybe we should check that Snapchat score. Let's see if it went up a little bit, huh? Let's see. Let's see if he's following anyone new. Let's see if he's liking any photos. And then you're going to do that, and you don't even realize you're fucking doing it. Just like you never realize you put all the fucking water bottles back on the fucking nightstand. Why? Because reality is trying to rearrange itself back to you. Because the masculine side of your mind, the logical side, which is the masculine side, is protecting you. We got to protect you. It's the protector, divine masculine, the action-based protector. And it's like, hey, no. We observe problems with this relationship. We observe this person not here. It's not here. Look, we've got proof. Not here. You're saying this rubbish. You're cleaning this story up, but no, we got to rearrange it and make it messy again. But this is where your intent has to come in. Get your attention, put your focus in alignment with intent in the beginning, because by default you are who you used to be. Right? That's what's running in the background. That's your default state. I made a video about default states, default identities, I should say. I made a video of observing yourself for an entire day called the shadow day and taking notes of yourself. So you literally have a fucking scouting report on yourself. But you do that, and then now you know whenever anything comes to mind, I'm going to immediately describe it that way. I know that I must observe the unseen because my mind can't tell the difference. And I gave you guys examples. And if you all have experienced that clutter thing, everything's the same. You observe it, whether with looking with your physical eyes, which are just bringing in the light, but this image you see, that's why you get to see the unseen. Even my old videos, right? My old videos, I used to say like, oh yeah, I've evolved since then big time. But I used to be like, yeah, you could see someone in the car with you that's not there. You could see someone laying in, and I've had people that had success doing that. Plenty of success doing that. I had a girl that wanted to be with her SP so bad, and SP wanted to break out with her because of a visa, and I brought that up, and she just went all in. And I told her, like, stop being aware of the problem. Stop putting your observation on the clutter and put your observation on your desired end only. So she went all in, and she literally saw her person with her for everything she did. Now, in her conversation, that's observing the end story. Declaring a thing as true now, that's observing the end. That's observing your desired result of who you are now. It's not always visual. Could be something you hear, all from the God eye, the mind's eye, the mind sight, internal. You observe the internal. I made successfully, my own personal story on the membership side. I talked about when I first started getting into it, I heard that old voice, that old I don't have come in. It's like, oh, well, this happened. Look, you don't have it. You didn't make that much money today. And I went off and hammered like who the fuck I was. And I remember I was in the shower. I saw a certain exact dollar amount that was deposited. The very next day, I think it was 12 hours from that point, that exact amount, give or take a few dollars, was deposited in the thousands. Didn't make sense, but who we are makes it that way, right? So, because we're all that is, grateful for ourselves. Remember, I made a video on members I do. Like, my new perspective on gratitude is being grateful for ourselves, not for the external things. Because those external things, we're only experiencing them because of who we are. So when you're grateful for yourself, that is literally all you fucking need. But anyway, so I got that exact dollar amount, and then it continued and it got even more and more. Why? Because I chose to observe the dollar amounts in here as opposed to what that current 3D was showing me. What that old version of me was trying to rearrange that clutter into my life. Right? So anyway, that client of mine, or that actually, well, she wasn't a client, she's a live streamer. She was on a live stream. She observed that person if it was already there. Everything played itself out. The conditions played itself out, and they're together because she observed the victory and the glory as if it was already here. When people say, I hate my life or I hate this person, they're choosing to observe something that's not here yet. It works either way. But we don't contradict those things. We're not wondering how. We're not, did I do it right? Right? We're not doing those things because that all implies you don't have it. So, also, observing. Another way to look at this, it's all the meanings you give everything, how you perceive shit. Because again, as reality is rearranging itself, are you going to allow that clutter to go back? Or are you going to stay observing who you are in the now moment with just the words enough or a visual, whatever you want to do? What you see, which is the fourth pillar, perception, the eye. It's what you say that thing is that's happening outside of you is what it'll be. And your key is to stay the same. So here's a little another perspective on observation. Let's say, because reality is the algorithm of you and what you keep observing, just like an Instagram reel, guys, you keep checking out those OnlyFans girls. That's all you're going to see in your For You page. You keep checking out me on YouTube, you're going to get more like me, maybe more suggestions like me, or whatever. All these algorithms on these apps are mimicking us. What we keep feeding ourselves is what gets shown on the external. Reality is the algorithm of us. So really think what I'm about to say here. If we decide, like, I'm in this happy, perfect relationship now, I'm observing it. And we are all those things. God's eyes everywhere, in the wicked and the righteous. Right? I have this relationship. I have all this money. I have all this. I have all that. This is me now. Yeah, I'm doing it, Eric. Yeah, feeling great. Even though feeling is not a unit of measurement. You're it, whether you feel like shit or you feel fantastic. You're still it. Nothing moves you. So what's going to happen is, because you keep observing something, reality is going to show you more of it. Right? So as things start to materialize, reality may show you now a best friend of yours getting married. It may show you other people having better luck with money than you. You might somehow be surrounded with people with supercars and all these rich guys all of a sudden when you're trying to say, I have money. Now, here's the problem. If you've never worked on your identity, you can only see reality from who you actually are. So that's where you can get pulled into that old way of perceiving the world. That's why I say it's so crucial to know who you are as all it is, and to have a strong foundation of self-concept, concept of self. You don't need it. You never not have a self-concept. So if you neglect that, that's when you start seeing the world, taking the action from that identity that you don't realize is going to bring back the clutter. But if you have strong foundation, you'll be able to see it correctly, or even remember things correctly. Let me explain. Let's say you're one of my lovely clients that come to me and they want this relationship, or they want this person, or they just want luck and love. So now their friend calls them. Oh my God, she's seeing her friends get proposed to. She's walking the streets and she's seeing a couple, right? They're like tonguing each other down, right? Super PDA, right? Public displays of affection all over the place now for some reason. But for some reason, she gets jealous. She starts to say things like, ugh, why? This is making me sick. Why not me? Why not me? You want to know the irony of that statement? You're seeing that because it is you. Because what you keep decreeing, what you keep observing, starts to show up in your experience. But just because it is not in your physical possession, you reiterate the fact, without even saying it sometimes, that you do not have it, therefore it's taken away from you. That's why how you observe the world, how you perceive the world, everything needs to be from this new identity. Because if it was from this new you with a strong foundation of knowing that you're the prize, knowing that you've only ever experienced the best in love, knowing that you have this perfect relationship now, then you need to look at those things through the same light. Because you've observed them internally, just like those cars showed up for me, So you're going to start seeing those experiences. So you're supposed to look at those things like, of course I'm seeing that because I am that. Of course I'm seeing my friends thrive with what I actually want. Right? Of course I am, because it's also available for me to experience. I'm seeing, for someone who wants money, I'm seeing money thrown in my face. I'm seeing other people getting promotions. I'm seeing rich guys. I'm seeing, every time I go to eat now, I see Lamborghinis and Ferraris parked everywhere, right? I'm seeing all these people. I'm hanging out with people. For some reason, I find myself in situations where there's a lot of people with a lot of money. But instead of seeing it like, of course, because I chose this as an experience, I've been observing this, whether internally or with my words. So of course, reality is going to start showing me this. But if I give it a bad meaning, I'm implying I don't have it. If I'm getting upset that someone else has, or if I feel jealous, that implies I don't have it internally. So then it's like, okay, rearranging the clutter back into my life. If you keep observing poverty, you're going to see poverty. You're going to look at the world from that identity. You're going to see all this money, all these things, but still look at it that way, like, why me? But you're seeing it because you chose to become it. You were being a source of it. It was showing you what's available to you. Couldn't see it that way. You were functioning from the version of you that clutter returns. It's all how you see the world. There's people that grow up, bad neighborhoods. I grew up in one. I grew up in a bad neighborhood, right? So if you keep observing, maybe growing up in bad neighborhood of the hood, or not a not so fortunate area, and you grow up and you keep seeing that, observing it like the clutter, it'll be very hard for someone to get out of it, because they'll see that as they're trying to get out. That's all they can see. Then when they start deciding different, reality is going to do its best. When I say reality, who you used to be, old awareness will do its best to pull you back in, and it'll act through you. Those thoughts in your head that, it's just you think you're overthinking, or you think it might even sound like it's on your side, are the exact things that you will take action on to return you to what you observed more frequent: the clutter, the poverty, the not having, the person missing, my life going downhill, me hating it. So, with that being said, I think I got my point across. What are you going to observe? You're going to keep observing your problem. You're going to keep observing all the reasons why you don't have it. And even when reality shows you, like, look, here's evidence of who you chose, you're still going to choose to not see it. You're still going to choose to use your physical awareness as seeing that as the truth instead of the internal, the cause. All this can be shown is that we don't go within enough. We don't use our God's eye, our power as all that is enough, with all these distractions. All these distractions are keeping you away from observing your greatness. But we have all the time in the world. We make all the time in the world to observe what we do not like, what we do not wish to experience. So again, if you follow my main rule, whenever anything comes to mind, immediately describe it as if it's already the way you would like it to be, not the way you don't, and not the way the 3D is showing you if you don't agree with it. Again, I don't have to physically pick that up to drink it. My mind thinks I did. And then as I keep doing these things internally, if I keep saying this is me, whatever it comes to mind, I will have the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions added on to me from that identity. I will start acting naturally from that identity. Everything will be the right move from that identity to materialize this new version of me, just like everything I did was the right move to materialize that old version of me over and over and over again in the now moment, to bring back the clutter into my experience. So the choice is yours, guys. You gonna allow yourself to make that room messy again? that simple. All right. I know you're going to have a great day, but just in case, I'll assume it to be great.